on behalf of the Council, Mr. Minister Leškevičius, to take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, Madam Commissioner, honourable members. I am grateful for the opportunity to address this important issue. The situation of the Roma people is a human crisis. Millions of our fellow EU citizens lead desperate lives on the margins in deep poverty and without any realistic opportunity of improving their situation. They are the poorest of the poor, frequently forgotten. The Council very much shares the concern of this Parliament over the situation of Europe's Roma, our largest ethnic community. The promotion of Roma integration is primarily a matter of social justice. It is not acceptable that any ethnic group be so excluded in Europe in the 21st century. Our inability to protect and provide for a minority group risks calling into question our international credibility. It is difficult for the European Union to criticise ethnic injustice on the world stage if we are unable to integrate and protect our own minorities. But improving the situation of Europe's Roma is also an economic imperative. We cannot afford to waste the potential of so many of our citizens. They have the capacity to offer so much to society and to their own community. Whilst everyone is born with the potential for self-fulfilment, a child raised in deep poverty has little chance of bringing that potential to fruition. Many of the Roma in Europe today go without essentials such as decent housing, proper education, health care, and with very little chance of securing employment. Once entire communities fall into extreme deprivation, whatever their ethnic identity, they can only recover through long-term policies which provide for the social inclusion. That is why we must continue to put emphasis on developing an integrated approach which covers the full range of social issues. The Council has already expressed its concern at the continuing social problems of the Roma communities, focusing on the four key aspects of education, employment, health care and housing. In May 2011, the Council adopted conclusions which established an EU framework for national Roma integration strategies up to 2020. This work drew on Parliament's own report on the EU strategy on Roma inclusion, drawn up by Madam Livia Járóka, which made a significant contribution to the European Union's work in this area. The Council specifically called on Member States to pursue objectives in the four areas I have just mentioned, with the aim of closing the gap between marginalised Roma communities and general population. President, Madam Vice President of the Commission, honourable members, improving the situation of Roma is a vital long-term policy goal, and it needs to involve a wide range of actors. The EU institutions have a vital part to play. The Commission has a particular role to play in monitoring and coordinating our overall approach. But the main responsibility, of course, lies with the Member States. The policies for ensuring the social inclusion of the Roma have to be addressed primarily at the national level. It is also crucial that Roma representatives, NGOs and local authorities are all involved in the development of those policies. Like the Parliament and the Commission, the Council has returned to the issue of Roma integration regularly in recent years. The Council is currently examining the Commission's proposal for a Council recommendation. This instrument will support the implementation of the national strategies that have been developed within the EU framework that was put in place 2 years ago. The Presidency hopes to see the recommendation adopted in December. I am convinced that this will provide additional impetus to our joint efforts in this important area. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, and I'd like to welcome very cordially Madam Viviane Reding, the Vice President of the European Commission, a Commissioner responsible for justice, fundamental rights and citizenship. Madam Commissioner, the floor is yours.
Thank you, President, honourable members.